We'll go to Senator Roberts for questions.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for appearing today. Your submission includes this statement, quote, banking transactions made over the counter at NAB branches have decreased by 70% since 2015, end of quote. Is that a 70% reduction in actual transactions? And if so, what are the two figures? Total over-the-counter transactions in 2015 and total over-the-counter transactions now?
Okay, thank you. What I'll do is I'll ask Chrissy Jones to address that one, Senator. Thank you.
Senator, I've got the data from 2017 in front of me. So in 2017, we undertook 35.5 million transactions through our branch network for over-the-counter transactions. So there has been a large reduction over that period. So between 2017 to 2023, we expect that to be a 71% reduction at the conclusion of this year. We've seen a massive shift over the last few years for our customers to start using digital services, and in fact, in June, 96.5% of digital interactions were via digital channels.
If I go into the NAB to conduct, I'm talking about constituents here or referring to constituents, if a constituent goes into the NAB to conduct an over-the-counter transaction, according to reports made to my electoral office, the likelihood is that the teller will march the customer out to the ATM in front of the bank and make the customer conduct their business there. Does your 70% reduction figure compensate for increases in the use of ATMs in front of your bank?
First off, it's interesting. We should probably have a look at the circumstances where a customer is shown how to use an ATM. And it depends on the branch structure that we have as well, because we've got a number of branches that are open for standardised hours that will be probably 3 hours a day. And they may well have been asking the customer, showing the customer how to use the services for 24/7. So, but I'll pass over to Chrissy, because Chrissy again runs the network. She's very familiar with what staff are being asked to do and how to train and develop customers and show them other services. But Chrissy, maybe if you could talk to Senator on that one.
Yeah, sure. So we want to make sure that our customers are aware of all of the options available to them. If they want to conduct their banking in the branch, then we would welcome them to use the over-the-counter services. But we want to make sure that for those examples of when the branch isn't open, that they know the alternate options. We've, over the last few years, added in new functionality to be able to deposit a cheque on your phone from the convenience of your home. So we really want to make sure customers are fully aware of all of those alternative options, whether it's phone banking, digital banking options or bank at post. But of course, if a customer wants to come in and talk to their local branch team member to do their transactions, we'd welcome that too.
Thank you. Look, I'm having trouble understanding you, Ms Jones. Seems to be a drumming going on. I'm having no trouble with Mr McEwen, so maybe it's me, but I just wanted to make you aware.
Is there a mic you have there? I noticed that too, Senator Roberts. It's a little bit echoey, or maybe if the mic can be moved.
Chair, it's in the ceiling.
Okay, yes. All right, we'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Okay, so if I don't understand something... If I don't understand something, just forgive me. We'll just go on to the next question. Only 3% of our personal banking customers, this is a quote from your submission, only 3% of our personal banking customers exclusively use our branch network to conduct their banking, end of quote. Could you define exclusively, please? Does one ATM withdrawal or one call to report a stolen card constitute a loss of exclusive, as in did not exclusively use over the counter?
So for our definition of exclusive, and we do publish some of this information in our fact sheets as well, it's really about when the customer walks into the branch. And so exclusive would be a customer who comes in and only uses that branch for their transactions. It would not include things like use of ATMs or other services or digital transactions.
So if a customer used a bank every time over the counter, every time except for once, a call to have an inquiry about a bank card, would that mean that they do not, their customer does not exclusively use over the counter?
It's a rolling period, and so it would be in that period that wouldn't be the case, but we look at it over different rolling periods.
Thank you. Only 8% you're saying this here. Only 8% of our business banking customers exclusively use our branch network to conduct their banking. That's 1 in 12. Seems a lot to ignore, doesn't it? Having said that same question again, does the same definition of exclusive apply?
Yes, it's the same definition of exclusive. I think what we are seeing is for both our personal customers and also our business customers, a really big shift in the way that they're transacting. And like I said, in June, we saw actually 96% of customers digital interactions occurring. So there really has been a big change, and we are seeing more of our business customers starting to use alternatives as well.
Okay, and another quote from your submission. Over 40% of home lending appointments are held via video conference. End of quote, which means 60% are not using video conference, correct?
Yeah, so we offer a range of ways that our customers can take out a home loan with us. And they can go onto our website to find an appointment that is most convenient to them. That can be in their local branch. It can be over the phone. It can be with the banker coming to their home or to their workplace, or it can occur via video. What we are seeing, even just in the last week, that we're seeing more than 60% happening over the phone or via video, but still a large proportion of customers are wanting to come into a branch to undertake that conversation with the banker locally.
Okay. 99 point.
Just to give you a feel for the rapid change in those numbers, pre-COVID, that was zero. We did not have that facility available. Today, as Chrissy said, the stats were put into here at 40, and in the last week, that has even gone higher. So customers are very happy to take up those services, and that doesn't matter whether that's a regional customer or a city-bound customer.
Thank you. 99.95% of all payments made by or received by NAB customers were made digitally in 2022. Does that include when a person beeps to pay for a coffee, petrol, the minutiae of everyday life?
Yes, it is. It does.
Okay. Thank you. If I withdraw cash from an ATM and spend that in a farmer's market paying cash, in fact, I am noticing an increasing number of small retailers asking for cash payments. How do you know if someone pays for cash or not, pays with cash or not?
By way of a retail transaction, if they paid for cash, would not know.
No, that's right. What is then?
What are you asking for help on that one? Because
what is
wouldn't know, never known in society when people pay for cash at a market, we've never known what those numbers are.
No. So what is the statistical basis for the 99.95% figure when you have no idea what your customers are using cash for?
Now, those are 99.5% of the transactions that come through our bank are done through a digital transaction. The ones that we're aware of, that stat hasn't changed from its definition. I've never known what was going on with a tradie who's taken cash or with a person at a market who's taken cash for goods. Those stats have never appeared in our stats.
No, so I made the same point with Westpac, I think it was. So we don't really know what people are using cash for, but people want to use cash outside the banking transaction.
Correct. But yes, you're absolutely right. I do not know what you use your cash for, or you don't know what I use my cash for. But the point we're making is for those interactions with the bank, it's 99.5% of those are now digitally done. That doesn't preclude customers doing what they like with their cash.
No, so while it might be 99.95% of payments with NAB are digital, with customers exchanging money with other customers, we don't know what it is.
No, that's right. But again, it's not a service I provide of paying cash. You paying cash to somebody else is not a service I'm involved in. It's a service that they do this.
But for me to pay someone else cash, I need to come to NAB to get the cash.
Yes, or you could go to 4,000 ATMs around the country that I pay you to use. They're free to you, or you could get the money at a branch, or 3,400 Australian post outlets, which will give you the cash.
Yeah, cash is still important. So your regional banking hubs is on the face of it a good idea. So I assume these centres are there to handle face-to-face transactions from areas where the branch has been closed. You mentioned Emerald in Queensland, where I used to live some years ago. Can I ask, what is the catchment of that Emerald Town bank, please? How far away is it designed to service?
We'll have to look at that. Chrissy, do you know the Emerald catchment at all?
I do, but I want to make sure that we've got the facts right. So I can come back to you on that. But we do have surrounding branches to Emerald, and there are bank at post facilities on top of our branch in Emerald.
So, last question from me. It looks to me like the next branch heading west from Emerald is Longreach, which is 4 hours away. Is that a good indication of how far apart these regional branches are?
But the regional branches will be quite different. Some may well be shorter than that, and others will be longer. As you know, Australia is a huge country, and the difference, but the point there is that there are a very large number of regional Australian post hubs that people can get to as well, who will service those needs.
And Chrissy, you might want to talk about the, the things that we look at in terms of where customers are travelling to already and the other branches that they're using that you take into consideration.
Yeah, so we do, when we're making both investment decisions or the decision to close a branch, we look at a range of factors, and that includes both where are our customers shopping, where are they banking, where are they travelling to, whether it be to see the doctor or the mechanic, and where do we need to invest to support them. And so there's a range of things that we take into consideration when we're both making investments, but also when we're making the difficult decision to close. We also seek input from our staff on the ground, and we have a large number of colleagues that work across regional Australia, around about 2,300 across NAB. And many of those bankers that are facing customers every day, whether that be in retail, or we have around about over 774 bankers that service through regional and agri. So we listen to feedback from our staff members as well as to what's happening in that community, what's most relevant for that community, and what's the way in which we can show up to serve them as well.
Thanks, Senator.